Hey everybody, David Alter here. Welcome into Rink Wide Toronto, presented by Bodog. Make a play, Canada's choice for free casino game sports odds and poker strategies. And yes, we are here inside Scotiabank Arena for round two. You know, I came in, I didn't know what it was going to look like. I wasn't sure. And you know what? You've got these let's go twice. Kind of proving a point that it's two, right? To signify round two. Well, here you go. The Leafs are here for round number two of the Stanley Cup playoffs, where they will take on the Florida Panthers, hosting game one tonight. Game two will go Thursday, and then we'll get the schedule. Apparently there's some possible unconventional scheduling that might happen for game number three and number four that we can't confirm at the moment, but you will find out shortly. That's why the schedule hasn't been released for a lot of these playoff games yet. Kind of strange when game number one of the second round is about to begin. But here we are, the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Florida Panthers. Of course, Florida coming back in dramatic fashion, down 3-1 in their series with the President's Cup trophy winning Boston Bruins, to win out and stun the Boston Bruins, coming here instead of us going there to Boston like we thought we might have to do. But they're here, and the Toronto Maple Leafs have made some adjustments. Sam Lafferty will remain out of the lineup, but Zach Aston-Reese will go in. You'll see a fourth line that will feature Zach Aston-Reese, David Kampf, and Alex Kerfoot, who will move down into a spot. Well, he was actually in the fourth line anyway, so he'll stay down in that spot as the Leafs will go away from the 11-7 that got them that Game 6 victory against Tampa, and Eric Gustafsson will come out of the lineup. That means Timothy Liljegren will stay in with Mark Giordano. Sheldon Keefe saying yesterday he was very impressed with the way that Liljegren was able to come in cold and just step into a Game 6, spoke to his preparation, mental acuity, and all the other stuff he was doing with skills and development staff, like a lot of the other scratches have been, to just make sure that they're ready to jump in when called upon. And so that lineup did pretty well, and so they will kind of stick with that. And of course, some of the big stuff to come out of yesterday was that Matt Murray is now skating and practicing with the team. The Leafs sent Erik Källgren down to the Marlies, and so Matt Murray will probably be an option for them when they go on the road, and that will be three goaltenders there. But it is Ilya Samsonov's cage. He was one of the big stories for why the Leafs were able to finally break the 19-year curse of not being able to get past the first round, and so now it's just a matter of not staying too high in that moment and continuing to push. Florida, obviously, everyone wrote them off, so they are highly motivated to come in here and prove a point. Paul Maurice reflected on his time as a head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was here for 2 years, but it was so short, and it was a weird transitionary time for his tenure that it was more of a memory for his kids in the city than it was for him himself. But he did learn a lot while he was here in terms of how it was like to handle a Canadian market before he eventually went on to head coach the Winnipeg Jets, and now he's here with the Florida Panthers. Also talked about how he didn't even think he was going to be a head coach after he left the Winnipeg Jets, and how Florida reconstructed everything. He got a phone call from Bill Zito, and then here he is with the Florida Panthers, helping what was a President's Trophy winning team into just squeaking into the playoffs, but then now with some momentum here. Matthew Tkachuk, he raved about him. Tkachuk had a big series. He was also very vocal about how no one expected the Florida Panthers to be here. Well, now they are, and so they're going to continue to push and do all the things necessary in order for the Maple Leafs to have some trouble in round number two. So that's the story here. It will be exciting. I imagine now a lot of pessimism is gone, because as we were kind of doing these in round one, you know, they lose game 5, and everyone's like, oh, here we go again. Is this it? And so there was just a lot of pessimism around. So now they're here. It's round 2, and I expect it to be one of the more ruckus crowds here at Scotiabank Arena. And myself and Rob Wong will break it all down immediately afterwards on the Rink Wide Toronto post-game show. Make sure you rate and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms to Rink Wide Toronto, presented by Bodog, Canada's home for casino games and sports odds, where everyone goes to play. Rink Wide Toronto, pre-game, post-game, every game.